Yeah. Hi and welcome. We are here live at the New Jersey School Boards Association Workshop 2023, and we're here with the Columbia High School students that produced an amazing film, and they produce films in general. So tell us about your class, and this is James Mano, the instructor. So tell us information, and you go first. Tell us about the class.
Yeah, we're gonna have James. You go first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. I missed the who goes first part. So I'm the supervisor for the arts for the district. Unfortunately, the instructor couldn't make it today. I had a personal situation to deal with, but I'm happy to bring the guys. I'm thrilled, Garden State Art Film Festival, that thank you so much for having a component that is education component, because we know that in New Jersey, right, the film industry, TV industry is exploding with opportunity, and these youth are the future of keeping that growth and going. So we got excited to do the student portion of the film festival this year. So Dylan, you want to tell them about your film?
Yeah, so I co-directed the Culinary Arts of
Little
South
closer.
Orange. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
I co-directed the Culinary Arts of South Orange. It was a documentary we decided to do about like Italian food in South Orange, and the reason we decided to do it is because we were thinking about what's like kind of important to us in our town, and I mean we all kind of decided on food because everyone loves
New Jersey.
food. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's New Jersey. It's pizza. It's a classic, and so we decided that we were gonna focus on that because that's something we all enjoyed. And
Wait, what's your favorite pizza?
Yeah. Good question. Good question.
I mean,
Depends on where you go.
Good one.
I think I'm generally a pepperoni guy.
I knew
but
it.
like,
I knew it. I felt
yeah,
pepperoni.
yeah, exactly. Classic, But yeah, we're all pretty happy with how it turned out. But
what was
yeah.
the experience like? How did you come up with the script, or did you not do a script and you knew you wanted to do interviews and then capture kind of man on the street style?
Right. So we first we decided on our restaurants, and we didn't really write out a script until we had shot our footage. Like we kind of did it backwards. Like usually you would, we planned out everything we were gonna do, but we didn't write like an exact script because we had voiceover over the whole thing, and we didn't write the voiceover until after we'd gotten all the footage.
Nice.
So we had a plan in the beginning, but we didn't actually, technically write it until after we had gotten the footage and knew what we were doing. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Just like a minor outline.
Cool. Did any of you help Dylan on this project?
No.
That's
We've
cool.
been in-
High five each other. That's cool.
We've been in other projects together.
Tell us
Yes.
about that. And
Yes.
how do you feel? So we've been learning that a lot of high schools do not have television and film production, which we didn't realize how bad that is, that a lot of schools don't. So like you, I had TV in high school, and you should be so thankful to everybody at your school for having that program. So tell us, how does it feel to be a student in that program? And also, what does it feel like to be here watching other schools work, and how does that inspire you for yours?
So I really do like being a student at this program. You get a lot of creative freedom. I remember, like in sophomore year, we made this film. I made this film with my friend Josh that won the Best Screenwriting Award at the Ramapo Student Film
Wow.
Festival last year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was all based off a script that we basically wrote in like a single class period, and then we just got straight to filming, which is really nice. And this class lets you do things like that, just like get an idea in your head and then just get out and do it, which I really appreciate.
That's amazing.
And I would say that being here is definitely inspiring. It's just nice to be reminded that there are, kids who like doing the stuff that we like doing just all over the state and all over the country even.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
And what's very important that we learned today? Audio is king.
Yes.
When you're recording,
It's true.
Yeah.
when you're editing, watch the levels. Keep it at between the 6 and 12.
I've been involved with many different classes in this program at the school since freshman year online, and
Oh, nice.
even now. As much as I'm not like officially enrolled, I always show up. I'm always there to help, and I enjoyed being part of the class and the program. I've always knew I wanted to do a business side of film, and taking these classes, as much as I still want to do the business side, it's allowed me to actually learn more of the actual filmmaking and writing and editing side. I love editing. I do it on the side too, so it's allowed me to do
editing is important.
And the business of film, it is business. It is a business, and there's a massive
yeah.
component that you could be a part of that in that world. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I was able to broaden my horizons on multiple different aspects. Yeah,
That's
so it was nice.
amazing.
And this film, this event here is cool because I get to see different ideas and thoughts and personal choices, and I've already come up with ideas that I may want to do in the future.
Very nice. Cool.
I mean, film has like always been my primary interest, I think. So, I mean, I think it's interesting some schools don't have a film or TV class
That's sad.
because
My heart breaks for that.
yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to have one class where you can sort of act on that interest and sort of try and get out there. So, and I mean, this is a cool experience for sure.
Right.
Awesome.
I've taken a few classes outside of school, but I really wouldn't have ever taken them if it weren't for our classes in school. Like that was my introduction to like wanting to do film, because I'd watched movies like everyone else had, but I took our filmmaking 1 class, and it really made me fall in love with the idea of making films.
Nice.
And I think it was just really nice, especially how in the classes in our school, they're very, we get taught all the basics and stuff, but after that it's very hands off, so you kind of know what you're going to be doing. Of course, our teachers will give us a push in the right direction, tell us like, hey, like, the audio's off or whatever, but
I'll tell you.
But
And if you're out of sync.
yeah, exactly,
I'll tell you.
exactly.
The ADR works.
Yeah.
We get pushes in the right direction, but for the most part, it's all very like, write your own script. Now you go out and make the movie, which
Nice.
I think it was very helpful, because you want to know that you're gonna want to do something. You want to be able to do it yourself without being like constrained down by a puppet hand. I think the way our school does it is also just very allows us to really explore our creativity, which is nice. And
I love that.
Yeah, I agree.
One of the things I love is that you came down to school boards and actually can see what other students are doing. You were talking about that, and see how other schools are doing different things, and maybe it's not exact, maybe it's a little different. So what is your takeaway from being at school boards? Is there something that stays with you right now?
Besides that, we're cool.
Yeah, I think we're slightly cool.
Oh no, I like to see the different.
A little closer.
A little closer.
I like
Yeah.
to see the different styles and story ideas. Some of them I would never think of doing, and I like everyone has personal tastes. You can see the different things and the different project criteria, but it's cool that two different people and two different projects can come with similar yet also different ideas, and make unique projects that are interesting.
There's a lot of food today.
Yeah.
it was also nice how they were like, you got to see so many different people making films. I mean, you feel like, considering the fact that not every school does it, it was nice to see that there are still so many people exploring.
I think it's interesting to see the different resources that other schools have too. Like the guy that got to use the 16 millimeter camera.
Yeah.
Like
Middletown.
that's not something that we would
Wow.
probably do, but I think it's cool to see how every other school is able to use what they have to make their own films.
Right, and it's important because I don't think that you are taught the old school way.
No.
I spliced audio and did all those things. I know I don't look old, but I started editing with no computer.
No,
Can
it's
you
cool.
even believe that?
No.
Now you guys come out of the womb with a mobile device and you have like a camera with 14 lenses and can do anything. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say also about the resources. It's interesting, like, seeing, like, kind of the level of resources, how it varies from school to school, and how, like, the schools with resources kind of make use of those resources.
Yeah.
And the schools that may not have access to similar resources, they adapt and they sort of build the story, like, in a different way based on that. I think it's just interesting to see how you adapt a story based off the resources that you have access to. And I think it shows that kind of the creativity and the story itself is really the most important thing.
So it's interesting because yesterday, Robin and Lauren and I hosted via Robin helping us. We did a 21st century careers, in film, and we talked about if you don't have all the resources, how you just use your cell phone, and it's about the story. It's about just doing it and making it happen.
Starting with a club for the
Right.
schools that might not have anything. I understand equipment costs a lot of money. You might have to get grants and fundraise, but you can start with a phone.
Right.
And then learn the beginning, middle, and an end, writing the script, having your concept, and working as a team. Let's talk about that. What did you love the most in general? Not about your film we showed today, but in general, working as a crew, whether you're producing, directing, editing, camera assistant, whatever you're doing, lighting. How do you like working as a crew in this field in general?
Yeah, so I like working as a crew. On my friend Josh, who recently graduated, is
What's
in
up,
college.
Josh?
Yeah, I worked with him on 2 films, and I think the best part is just kind of like writing that script together, coming up with those
Nice.
ideas, and then just like putting it in action. All of that was really fun. I've also worked with Zach here on a film To the Deaf last year, and that was interesting because that's probably the most like forethought that's been put into a film.
Oh, wow.
So the most
We spent
interesting
months planning.
Yeah.
You're very analytical, Zach. That's why.
Yeah. So Zach's great with all that stuff, and the most interesting part of that process was definitely just kind of learning, sort of these things that you add in editing, like color.
Oh,
Yeah,
color.
Color
So
correction, the
Last
sound
year I
mixing.
went into that. I was like focused
LUT.
on audio and color correction, and I started adding LUTs. It was very. I studied and wanted to practice it, and we applied it to 2 of our films, and it was.
Yeah.
And we planned both of those films, and they came out pretty well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Working
Wait, that's
together.
so weird. Did you enter them into the Garden State Film Festival? Because submissions
forgot.
close soon.
Not yet.
It's
Yeah.
filmfreeway.com/Garden State Film Festival.
We'll do
We
that
will.
soon.
Yeah.
I
so
didn't
weird.
know about this last year, but I
What the
definitely will
what?
now.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how teachers don't seem to really read emails. So how can we reach out to all the teachers that don't read emails?
Send it to the supervisor.
Got it. Hold on. Ooh. Got it. Okay, perfect.
So what was your take on? What was
yeah.
your take on working, collaborating?
As a team?
I mean, I think it's great because there's so many. Even if you're close friends with most of the people in the group, it's just most people have so many different ideas.
Yeah.
So you're introduced to a different angle or a different idea that maybe you didn't think of. And some people who want to focus on being behind the camera, or they want to act, or they want to edit. It gives everyone a chance to, I guess, practice in every area of making the film.
And it's nice that even though you're working as a crew, usually just has the director and producer kind of rise to the top, and you kind of organically feel who's kind of in charge and directing.
Regarding teamwork, when you think of something like Columbia High School or any high school that has an extensive arts program, think of teamwork beyond the classroom, guys. I look at Columbia High School as like the largest production company in our town, right?
Nice.
It's like you have musicians, you got actors, you got dancers. So take it beyond just your classroom and collaborate with the musicians, collaborate with the music tech people, do your recording. We did a film last year about arts in COVID time, which was at the Garden State Film Festival and ended up on CBS and their COVID revamp.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
And they all, thank you so much. And they all collaborated, right? We got the music kids to create the music score. So think about those kind of collaborations because it just takes it to a whole nother level.
And guess what? The Garden State Film Festival happens to have a music competition for music that was in films. You don't have to submit the film. The music stands on its own merit. You go to filmfreeway.com/Garden State Film Festival and enter in the music competition category. That's amazing.
So one of the things I want to give you guys as a takeaway is when he was 17 years old, I had a student intern actually in our office, and he had
For
a
the
really
New
tough
Jersey Film
time.
Commission.
Yeah, at the New Jersey Film Commission. Thank you, Lauren. And no, I'm already ahead of the conversation. And he interned with us, and he was really having a tough time getting experience because what you're experiencing now as students really did not exist.
Yeah.
He's 45, so 30 years ago. And so when you look him up, he produced Ready Player One. So when you look up Ready Player One, Dan Farah graduated from Maplewood High School. And so as you start graduating and you start looking up the alumni, draw upon those alumni as well. All these experiences, this networking, being at this event, being at school boards, it's all part of this networking that you're going to do as you progress.
That's cool.
What else?
I mean, on the topic of working together.
A little louder.
On the topic of working together, I thought it was I think it's like a surprisingly really great thing, and I say surprisingly because before I started doing filmmaking stuff, I had this very naive view of oh, the director does everything. Like the director,
See, we try to break that
right.
cycle.
Yeah, I thought that, and then I started doing the class, and I realized that wasn't the case. And at first, I was like, oh my god, really? I wanted to do the director stuff and like do everything, right? And it was very naive. And then I actually started working with people and working on stuff, and I realized that like working together, can take a writer or director's vision and really like elevate it, like because one person can't do everything, so they can't think of everything. So you work with people and they're like, oh well, what if we do this? What if we do that? And it really elevates it beyond what any original idea starts as, and I think that's a really useful thing.
No, Dylan and I worked in a project during our sophomore year.
Closer.
And at that point, we had one film done, and I was just acting, and I was just like watching because I was interested in business and not the film. And then I was like,
you fell in love.
And they pushed me, the group and our teacher, and pushed me to start directing a film, and we ended up working together, creating a film. And
Cool.
I was my first time, and it was their first time not being as the director role, and we switched, but we still worked together. We had to learn different ways to work because it was a different movie.
If you can adapt,
helps you learn different skills.
survive.
We all learned, and then all of us would transition between editing and writing and directing.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to learn both, learn and switch.
Yeah,
it's important. Even the acting, if you don't want to, try it out. It's important to know each role so that when you are directing or producing, you comprehend, oh, well, this has to happen for that role and this has to happen.
Yeah, it gives you a better idea of like, just being able to do different roles makes you able to collaborate better because, you know how the other roles will operate along with your role better.
Yeah.
Like if you try out editing and then you go and do directing, you'll know like the editor can't do this all in one day. Like you can't be expecting them to do so much all in one day, right? So
you can edit it quickly.
Yeah.
And then, so in the class, do you also have a news the 3-camera studio set up, or do you have field cameras only?
There's different classes that have different
Great.
things. So there's the film classes, TV production, and the
Great.
news program.
Amazing.
I'm in the news program this year. So
Are you technical? So I switch and direct. So I'm the director and the technical director at the same time.
So we have a couple directors there that do the work, but at that point, if you're making
It's
a segment
separate,
or anchoring, you're going to be involved in that episode.
Cool.
And TV production is different than that, but it's kind of like film, but you make short media productions. But
so good.
the news program is I'm in right now, and I've anchored a time. I've made a segment, and at that point, you're editing, you're directing your own segment, you're writing your own segment.
Yep.
You get to see all of it in the recorded news program, which is cool.
That's great. And don't forget, if you're ever somewhere and you need B-roll, you can use your phone and then share it. You probably have the Google Drive or whatever. You can share it from your phone because sometimes if you need handheld footage right away, you can try not to really breathe when you're holding your phone. And please hold it this way, not vertical. It's got to be horizontal. All right. Sorry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? How you love the Garden State Film Festival, the New Jersey School Board Association, being at this event? What about to your school for thanking them for getting the bus to bring you down here?
Thank you to our school.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you to our school
Yeah.
advisor. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Awesome. And now you're like, wow, I am going to use the acting classes
Right.
and the music classes to make my next film.
Of course.
Right, yeah.
So on the bus ride home, you can be like, what am I going to do next?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
David, anything else?
No, we're excited. New Jersey's film industry is booming. It's really going to not stop. It is booming right now. And I think the great thing is by the time you decide to go, whether it's a trade school, college, or whatever it is that you're going to be doing, the opportunities are going to be here. If you decide to stay in New Jersey and want to work in New Jersey, you're going to have that opportunity. And nothing against going to any other state or working in another state, but the
Live where you
opportunities
work.
will be here for you.
Right.
And Governor Murphy is really is all in on our incentive, and it's going to be great. So
Awesome.
we're excited about the future.
We're super excited. So thank you to Columbia High School and James Mano for help shaping our future filmmakers. That's all for right now. We're live at the New Jersey School Boards Association workshop. This is the Garden State Film Festival. Submissions close November 1st, so please try to upload today at filmfreeway.com/Garden State Film Festival. Don't rush through filling out all the Film Freeway information. If you're a school, we need to know what school you're with, and we need the students' direct contact, not just the teacher. We need to contact the students to be like, hey, guess what? You're in. Meet me here at this time for the red carpet and all that. So go to www.gsff.org, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Ciao.